Hey everyone, welcome to In Our Sights. I'm Mariah Day, Executive Director of the Kansas State Rifle Association. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Lilly Nelson. Lilly is a Kansan, but she's actually joining us from New Mexico. Lilly, tell our followers what you're doing in New Mexico.
So I am currently at the NRA Whittington Center, and I am serving as an intern and the program director for our youth adventure camp.
That sounds like a great time. So let us in on kind of a little bit more of what that means. You're involved as a program director, first of all, for the Youth Adventure Camp. Tell our listeners what is the Youth Adventure Camp, and kind of how you got started in that.
Yeah, so the adventure camp is a 2-week program that we bring in 13 to 17-year-old kids, and we
Mhm.
teach them the basics of leadership, patriotism, and marksmanship through a 2-week camp where they will shoot rifle, pistol, shotgun, muzzleloader, archery, and then they will also learn a bunch of leadership skills, hunting skills, ethics, camp skills, cook skills, and then we end the week with a 2-week camp out. And the adventure camp is very special to everyone that comes down here. We really pride ourselves in teaching kids how to be better leaders and how to be better patriots for America.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a cool opportunity. So, um, first of all, the Youth Adventure Camp is held at the NRA Whittington Center. A lot of our followers probably know what the Whittington Center is, but for those who don't, it consists of more than 33,000 acres of land. I think it had like 25 ranges, if I remember right. Lots of other things to do, activities there, that kind of thing. What are some other kind of highlights of the center that you've enjoyed or that people should know about? That the youth get to participate in as part of the program.
Yeah, the Whittington Center is really awesome. It's a beautiful place to be. There's lots of different ranges and for all different calibers, all different activities that you want to do, shooting sports wise. Um, our youth adventure camp gets to shoot on all of our ranges and they get to experience all
Mhm.
different disciplines and everything. The Whittington Center hosts a bunch of large shoots every year. They host different matches and stuff like that throughout the year. There's lots of different things going on right now. We had the shootist group here, some people from Barrett shooting, having their 50 cal competition. A couple weeks ago, we had the state ATA shoot, and there's just a bunch of different events always going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the youth adventure camp, you have one session a year, two sessions a year. Kind of how's that set up?
So our staff comes in on that first week, on the first Tuesday of every June, and we have a
Okay.
week where
Yeah.
the staff is able to just get everything set up and ready for campers, and then campers arrive on Sunday and they stay through the following Friday. So they're here for about 12 days. And then we have two of those sessions where we can have 56 campers each session.
That's amazing, and what a cool opportunity for youth from across the country to get to experience all those different things. So, tell us more about kind of how you got started in this. First of all, you're a Kansan. You're from the Overland Park area. Is that right? And then tell us a little bit more about your background. So you grew up in Kansas. You go to college in Kansas. Half of our listeners will be really excited where you go to college. Half of them probably won't. But tell us about that.
So I grew up in Overland Park. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born and raised. But I spent a lot of time out near Manhattan at Kansas State. My family has a
Sure.
bunch of property there, and we lived out there or we hang out there a bunch. And I'm at
Yeah.
Kansas State right now studying wildlife and outdoor enterprise management.
Hmm.
So to get involved with Adventure Camp, my grandpa had worked in the industry for a long time, and he was familiar with Adventure Camp, and he decided to send me and one of my cousins down to Adventure Camp, and
Sure.
I just went down and I fell in love with it. The first couple of days, I didn't really love the whole shooting aspect of things. I'd only been hunting a couple times with my dad, shot a couple times, and
Sure.
never really had that passion for it. But as soon as I came
Hmm.
down to camp, after the first couple of days of just getting used to everything and getting acclimated to the new environment, I was able to fall in love with this program and everything. And so I have been here since 2019, and I've loved every minute of it.
That's amazing. That's really cool. So, yeah, like you said, you weren't necessarily excited about it going into it the first time, but quickly fell in love with it. So, what would you encourage, parents or grandparents, who have a kid or a grandkid that is interested in the outdoors, but necessarily doesn't necessarily jump at the chance to go halfway across the country to participate in an event like this, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to just do it.
Hmm.
Kids will be nervous and they'll show up. Every year we
Sure.
have kids show up and they're extremely nervous and shy and they don't know what to do with themselves and they've never shot a gun before. But we have incredible counselor staff that knows
Hmm.
exactly how to deal with those situations. And all of our counselors were previous campers, so they are able to
Sure.
understand and know exactly what those campers are going through when they come into camp. And then
Hmm.
if you grandchild, your son, has never shot very much, or has never touched a firearm before, our staff are all trained very well and they're all professionals and they know exactly how to handle a situation like that. I've worked with several campers over my experience here that have never touched a firearm before they got to camp. And those have been some of the most rewarding kids that I've worked with because the change
Sure.
from day one, they're taking their first shot on a 22 rifle to shooting the 50 caliber at the end of the week is just an incredible change. Kids come in nervous every year, but just sending them and pushing them out of their comfort zone a little bit can be really, really beneficial for these kids in the long run.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you get kids from all across the country. Is it neat to see kids that come from kind of a similar background to you? Do you get very many applicants or people who actually participate from Kansas, from the Midwest? What's that kind of look like typically?
Yeah, so we usually have a pretty big spread of where everybody's from. This session, I
Yeah,
know we have 4 campers from Kansas, and I have counselors on my staff that are from Kansas. So it's a pretty good representation this year from
yeah,
Kansas.
that's awesome.
We have a lot of people from Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas are probably our biggest. But every summer we have
Sure.
kids from Pennsylvania, Alaska. Several summers we had kids coming in from Hawaii, Washington, Florida, all over the place. And so there's a really, really good spread of like people from all over the country that are all able to come here, which is really cool because people do come from a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different
Hmm.
places, types of living. And so it's really cool to get everyone together in that same situation and they all make really great connections that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what first interested you in, counseling, and then, how did you go from, being a first-time camper to leading the entire program and doing this? How did that progress, I guess?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool progression. So I was a camper in 2019, and by the time I
Hmm.
was leading Adventure Camp, we have this awards banquet at the end of the week. And at the very end, one of our directors gets up and says, if anybody is interested in applying to be a counselor in training for the next summer, come
Hmm.
put your name on this list. And so
Yeah.
everyone usually ends up there and everyone puts their name on the list because they're coming
Hmm.
off that high of how great camp was and everything. So
Sure.
after camp, I decided to send in an application. I loved the things that my counselors were able to do for me, and they really made an impact on me. And I
Hmm.
loved just the program. I really loved what Adventure Camp did for me and for those around me. So I decided to send in that CIT application, and I was able to get in as a counselor that year. For 2020, we didn't have camp just due to all the COVID restrictions and everything, but
Sure.
I came back in 2021 to be a counselor in training. I absolutely loved being a counselor. I loved just being able to give that same experience to the campers that I was able to have and that my counselors gave me when I
Hmm.
was there. And so I just fell in love with being able to do something bigger and something greater for all
Yeah.
of these kids that I was able to lead. Then going into counselor year, the position for program director was going to be open for the next summer. And so I expressed some
Hmm.
interest in that. And the previous program director, our admin director, lead counselor, the event coordinator for the Whittington Center that
Hmm.
runs camp, all of that, they all decided and asked me if I wanted to be program director, and I
That's
jumped on that
awesome.
just to be able to work in this a different role and see Adventure Camp from a completely different position, and just be able to do this for all of these kids. I like to think of it as
Hmm.
my counselors are now like my group of campers that I get to lead and help them through this
Yeah.
progression and figuring out how to be a counselor and how to be a good counselor. And then I get to watch them with their campers and learning how to do that. And I just think it's a really cool progression. And I really love being able to just see the bigger picture and be able to help run that bigger picture kind of thing. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't think our listeners can tell that you're excited about the role or that you're enjoying it at all. So, but that's really cool. What a neat opportunity to do that. So, if kids want to sign up for next year, or parents are listening to this and want to get their kids signed up, so I believe they can go to the NRA Whittington Center website, which I think is nrawc.org, and then can they just go to like the events page and go to youth programs and
Mhm.
register essentially for the event there?
Yeah, on that youth events page on the Whittington Center's website, there'll be an application for a camper for summer of
Perfect.
2025, and you can get that filled out and sent back to us. And once the spots fill up, it'll be notified on the website and everything. But then after that, the
Sure.
applications for the next summer will be open as well. So
Yeah. Cool. Very good. So, what are some of your other responsibilities with your internship? I know your internship spans more than just, being program director for this. What other kind of things do you help out with, and what other programs, I guess, are even hosted there at the Whittington Center?
yeah, so before I started with Adventure Camp, I've been here for about 3.5, 4 weeks now.
Hmm.
Before this, I helped with the New Mexico ATA shoot. So I
Sure.
helped run and work that shoot. After that, I worked here in the programs office with Ashley and Eric, just doing
Yeah.
different things around this center. For example, like one day we filled one of the sporting clays courses with all of the clays.
Hmm.
We restocked that and everything. I'm not exactly sure what I'll be doing afterwards. I'll be working with accounting, fundraising, probably doing some more shotgun stuff and helping run and set up for different shoots and everything. So I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure what all that will look like. My focus right now is just Adventure Cave. That's just what I
That's
for
enough,
these
right?
that's all I get to think about. So it
Yeah.
keeps me busy, but afterwards, I just look forward to being able to see more parts of the Whittington Center that I haven't been able to work with through the Adventure Camp yet. So that'll be a really cool opportunity to see how this whole place runs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Well, we can't wait to hear all about it once you're back in state. I believe you're done sometime in August, if I remember what you said. And
Yes.
so we'll be really excited, for a follow-up update, when you get back to Kansas. But good luck and great job representing Kansas there in New Mexico.
Yes, thank you. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, likewise. Well, thanks, Lily, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.